Happy Monday. Hope everybody out there is coming off a great weekend. As you know, my name is Devon Lewis-Buchanan with Inspire Use, and you are tuned into Perspective Matters. So what topic have I came up with today? This one should be a good one. Today we're talking about frustration, fears, and failures. This topic is one that is very important. Most importantly, I think it's important to know what these three things are and what these three things represent in your life to understand how we overcome them. Because the whole purpose is overcoming any frustrations that we have, any failures that we've had, and every fear that we've had. It's not saying that these things won't come about. It's just the way that we overcome them. So I wanted to talk more so about more personal references, also different ways that I've handled these three things in general, and kind of just give a wrap up and an overview of how I've either dealt with it, how it's dealt with me, because I think that is one thing that we really understand, that our those three things, I think, play a big role in everything that we attempt and everything that we put out there to do. And I believe that these three things also hold us back from trying and really getting in depth into what we actually, want to do. So the first one was frustration. And, I think the biggest thing with frustrations is knowing what triggers you. When I was a kid, I had to learn that, well, it took me into my adulthood to learn that I was sensitive. And as a kid, you don't want to hear that word and be labeled as sensitive, because it gives the connotation that you're soft. But one thing that I've learned over the years, and one thing that I talk to children about sensitivity, and when I do, I give them a comparison. That way it lets them understand what exactly I mean by sensitivity. And a good example is like skin. When I say I have sensitive skin, I don't say that my skin is soft to the touch. I say that my skin is sensitive because it's easily irritated. And that was the difference that made a big difference in my life, because knowing that my sensitivities are not something that I'm soft on, it's just what I'm easily irritated to. So, one thing was knowing what those sensitivities were, to basically be able to control what frustrated me and what, got me to my boiling points, and what kind of got me to that point where, my levels are high, full of frustration. One of the biggest things I think that frustrates me the most is it's mostly internal stuff. I rarely get frustrated from outside sources. I'm not saying that I don't, but I really try to control the things that I can control, and knowing that I control my actions, the way that I present myself and different things like that. My frustration usually comes from just dealing with myself. Setting goals or setting timelines and not following through with them. Most of the time, just not staying true to the things that I know will get me to the next level or push me to the next level. Not following through enough on certain things is what really frustrates me, because I know in my mind that if I do put my maximum effort into it, that it will be successful, regardless of how people label success. I know it will be successful, but it's just sometimes getting out of your own way and allowing yourself to just push forward and break through and do the things that you need to do, so that way you can really enjoy the accomplishments of actually doing those things. So those are more so where my frustration was grounded in. And my failures, so many. Not so much failures, but just failing in general. Failures when you completely stop trying. And I guess the thing that I've actually could say that I failed at and really stopped trying was, at one point in my life I was engaged. I do have a young son, and me and his mother was in a relationship, and we were engaged to get married, but things don't work out, and everybody has their own ways of handling certain situations. Everybody has their own, goals for their future and different things like that. And that was something that I held as a failure because one, I was young and I didn't understand exactly what marriage meant, and to try to establish how households are supposed to be ran, and how what being the man of the household really means, and to really go forward as a parent, and do things that you've never actually seen done. Not growing up with a father, it's very hard to emulate things that you don't see. And I take my responsibility in part of that relationship not working out, because it doesn't just affect me or her, it affects my son. And now being able to come to just a common ground, and just being able to not so much work out of the frustrations of that relationship not working out, because usually when things don't work out and you break up and different things like that, you build up these frustrations for the other person. So just allowing peace to come over yourself, and allowing certain situations not to affect you so much mentally was one of the biggest things I learned from that failure, from not being in a situation to try again to make things better. So I think that was one of I call it my midlife crisis at 25 years old, because it helped me grow so much as a person to really just look within myself, to know what exactly do I represent, and what exactly do I want to do going forward, and how do I really want to how do I want people to remember me more so than just just memories. And another thing was fears. What are our fears? And that's a pretty simple one for me. My biggest fear is not reaching my full potential, not really giving everything that I've got to be exactly who I believe I should be, and leaving a mark on this planet, because I believe that it's a choice that I have to make as far as what I'm willing to try, what I'm willing to pursue. But at the same time, I believe that everything that we're put here to do is bigger than us. And I mean, for a long time, I ran from my purpose. I ran from the things that I know that I had it within me to do, and it was just because I felt as though, of course, trying to satisfy myself first. I wanted to do the things that really that I felt like was important to me at the time, and it really being able to take a step back and stepping out on fear. This year was pivotal in doing that. Being able to say that you want to start something and really follow through with it, and from quitting a job that I had for a year, to not too much depending on weekly or bi-weekly paycheck, going out and stepping out of that comfort zone and really pushing yourself, joining Toastmasters, doing speaking engagements, and doing things that are very uncomfortable, but after a while you realize that fear is not real. And it's just something that we use to try to defend ourselves, but at the same time it also hinders us. So that was one thing I had to learn about myself, that my fear is not from losing it all, or dying, or things like that are inevitable, because I mean, at the end of the day, nobody makes it out of this life alive. Like, we're all gonna leave. But my thing was just trying, like actually giving effort into the things that I actually said that I wanted. So those were the three. Those are just three things that I would give example of, and three things that I believe that everybody has faced, whether frustration, failures, and also just frustration, failures, and also our fears. Frustration, failures, and fears. Yeah. So those were the three. But if you guys have any, that you guys want to admit to, or you guys can comment under for our blog, and just kind of tell me what are some of the three things that you would identify as something that frustrates you, something that you hold as a failure, and something that you fear. And I think just acknowledging that we do have these things in our lives. I mean, it's human nature, like it's natural. but I think admitting to it and also being able to know how to control and overcome those things is pivotal in moving forward in life. So that's been Perspective Matters, guys. I really enjoy sitting here and chatting with you guys, and please, I'm looking for others who would love to join me and elaborate on their perspective, even to give me some perspective so that way I can post on the site. Guys, I'm looking for all people who are interested. Please email me. You can reach me at info@inspireuse.com. Also, check out our site. And also, big news too. We're getting ready to open our shop for you guys to order some Inspire Youth gear. I have some new stuff coming out for you guys. Just stay tuned. And every dollar that you guys put into the products that we sell help go back into providing mentorship for the kids that we serve. And I think that's a big thing for us, being able to get the kids in the community to really buy into what we're doing. It takes resources, and we want to be able to give you something in return for your donation or to help out with what we do as far as with Inspire Youth. So I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for that announcement. The shop will be open very soon, and I'm looking forward for you guys to be rocking some new gear. All right, so that's Monday. Man, have a great week, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and it's been Perspective Matters. Have a good one, guys.